MultiSTEEL is used extensively in the offshore industry as well. This is an oil rig jacket that was modelled with MultiSTEEL, and all of the fabrication drawings were generated off this structure as well. We saw earlier how MultiSTEEL can coat back or cut back any kind of tubular connection, and all of the tube connections on this structure were drawn up, fabricated, fabrication details generated off the model using the coping features in MultiSTEEL. This dialog box shows the pipe intersection commands and MultiSTEEL's various options for generating coat back details, including CNC output, so it can generate a CNC file to various types of automated cutting and profiling equipment. You'll notice the blue circles added on here. They're just to highlight different planes in the structure. If we go to Set View, our 3D viewer, and just go to Plan initially, this structure is actually drawn up in imperial units and American units. MultiSTEEL can work in either metric or imperial. And we've got a number of different levels, and we can highlight each individual level just by selecting from the left-hand part of our dialog box. If we go to sloping, we can highlight any particular sloping edge or sloping side of the structure. This is actually vertical on one side of the structure, so it has a vertical side. The MultiSTEEL can automatically generate the geometry for either 3-leg or 4-leg oil rig structures, jackets, and they can have just one vertical side, or all sides can be vertical, or all sides can be sloping. And all you do is specify the dimensions at the top of the structure and at the base, and whether it's going to be a single or two-sided sloping structure. We go back to the ISO view. MultiSTEEL actually has a complete pull-down menu dedicated to offshore type detailing and modelling, and our special grid commands are shown here, and our coping commands are shown on a separate fly-out menu. The preparation of the 2D drawings, the general arrangement drawings, is also very important, and MultiSTEEL has special tools for doing that. If we come to Drawing Update, Section 3D Model, that will allow MultiSTEEL to generate GA drawings in any plane, including a true projection of these sloping planes. So you can generate a GA drawing very easily, just of the true projection of each sloping edge of the structure. Normally that would be quite difficult to do in AutoCAD, but the special commands in MultiSTEEL make that very easy. If we go to the Section 3D Model command, all it does is display the various views that are stored within the MultiSTEEL system, and any of these views we can select to generate a true two-dimensional view or two-dimensional drawing of the structure. So any of these, or combination of these, we can select, and it will generate a true view. So all of the sloping views are there. Those are our 4 sloping views, and we can also generate vertical projections onto GAs as well, using the other views, either taken from internally within the structure, looking out, or looking externally into the structure. These are our horizontal planes, different floor levels, or different basic levels within the structure. So this viewer, which can actually be combined with Set View, so if you want to preview a particular view, you can go into Set View before actually selecting it. So if we wanted to check out Grid A, Grid A is a vertical plane, so that only shows a part of our sloping edge, because obviously it's just sectioning through the base of it. If we want to see a true sloping view, we just select say row 1 sloping. Let's go to our sloping views, and we can preview it before we actually section our drawing. So it's very flexible and very easy to generate those 2D drawings. This model is part of a topside structure, and it highlights the ability of MultiSTEEL to deal with various types of special plates, special detailing. So much of offshore structures is actually fabricated sections, either non-standard sections or specially welded configurations. And MultiSTEEL has the flexibility within its plating module to deal with any type of plate. This sequence just shows how easy it is to create plates of any shape, size, thickness, in any position, with any justification, whether they're top justified or bottom justified. And it's done through these special toolbars. This is one of the flyout menus, just shows some of the basic commands. Plates can be drawn as either 2D or 3D, and we'll see that in action. These are editing commands, filleting, chamfering, inserting cutouts, inserting openings, edge cutouts. These are special slotted details for bulk flats, special welded details used in the shipbuilding industry. Then we've got centre of gravity calculations, export to CNC, plate nesting, so quite a number of useful commands in there. We wanted to make this polyline into a plate. We just go to our form plate command, specify the thickness, how we want to display it. Let's make it bottom justified. We just select plate, and it will generate it into an AutoCAD 3D solid from its 2D outline. We can then show that as 3D, or display it again as 2D for further editing, stretching, and so on. If we take this example here, we've got a number of internal slots and openings. We use exactly the same procedure. We just use form plate. This time we just pick the internal openings as well, and it subtracts those and forms the details that we need. We can go back to 2D. Let's say the design changes at some stage, and we need to move one of our openings. That process automatically updates the 3D view. So when we redisplay it, it's shown in its new position. So what you're dealing with is an intelligent plate concept, where each opening and each plate boundary is aware of each other, so to speak, and hence it's very easy to edit, make changes to plates like that. Let's take another example. This one is formed initially into just a solid plate. Show it as 2D. And this time we want to put some chamfer details or fillet the corners. Let's say we'll use 50 mil radius. Just by picking the corners, we can round off. They're obviously immediately reflected in the 3D outline. Let's go back to 2D a moment. Let's insert some internal openings. Let's put some circular cutouts. You just pick the boundary, insert the cutouts, and they're automatically reflected in the 3D solid image of the plate. Similarly, in our 2D view again, we can slot the edges of our plate. Let's put in an edge slot. Let's pick the edge of the plate. Comes in initially, we can rotate it, and then it's cut out our plate for us. Let's put another one in here. If we actually put in the rotated view and we leave it there, it actually creates a nib or an extension to the edge of the plate. So the slot commands can actually be used in reverse to create small extensions on the edges of plates. If we want to know the details of the plate, the centre of gravity and other information, we can just window it. It'll give us the quantity of plates, the volume, the bounding area, total weight of the plate, and its CFG in just a few moments like that. Less than a second, in fact. So a lot of useful information can be extracted from the plate. As we mentioned earlier, we can create nested arrangements of plates. We can create CNC output. So basically a very flexible system. All of these plate commands can operate in any user coordinate system in AutoCAD. So this could be a vertical plate or a sloping plate. It's fully compliant with UCS requirements in AutoCAD. Just to finish off this part of the demonstration, there's two more photographs of completed MultiSTEEL projects. This is an accommodation module ready to be shipped out to its platform in the British North Sea. The whole of this structure was drawn up, detailed on MultiSTEEL, mainly in 2D actually, using 2D techniques, but gives a very good idea of the size and complexity of projects that MultiSTEEL is used on from day to day. And finally, a completed offshore platform. This is the Shell Clipper platform, again in the British North Sea. Again, completely detailed within MultiSTEEL. This completes our review of offshore projects. The next module just explains a little bit about the licensing and installation of MultiSTEEL, how it can actually be configured and implemented on your AutoCAD systems. And then there's just one more final module to do with some of our existing customers, most of which will have been involved in the projects that we've just seen.